Oilerslive podcast. Oilerslive podcast.
Get that algorithm going.
Oilerslive podcast. Oilerslive podcast.
Now, get ready to talk hockey. Streaming from the Oilers Live Studio. Subscribe or follow today.
Hey, it's Michael here from Oilers Live, kicking off Season 7 of Oilers Live, the seventh NHL season that I'll be podcasting in, and lots has happened all that time. We, of course, after 7 seasons, we still don't know how to start on time, so we're a half hour late, and but I appreciate you guys tuning in. I've got some of the guests from Heavy Hockey Network, some of our writers, one of our podcasters, a couple of guys. Want to say thank you to Dash, Kirk, and Ryan for joining me tonight. How are you guys doing?
Good, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing just great. Good. Happy to get things going. I mean, only 35 minutes late. Who said earlier offline, we're a band. I mean, we'll start whenever the hell we want, right?
Fashionably
Better late
late.
than never.
What's what
Did
happens
that
when you
make you
got
Axl Rose or what?
That's right. That's right.
Well, we
good.
kicked
All
kicked
good,
Dirsa
all good.
out. So what does that make him?
I have no idea. I don't
Even
think he-
Adler?
I think he's Axl Rose.
Oh man, I tell you, everything. 7 seasons, they still can't get it right. Opening season, opening day.
Training camp. We're in training camp.
We're
there,
in
Mike.
training camp. Yeah, we got
just
to.
preseason for
We're
everybody,
still making
guys.
cuts here. We're still making cuts.
First was just one.
That's just Dirsa's flavor.
Dirsa. We're waiting on Dirsa. About a half hour, just for those
He's
of you
still on the
tuning in.
bus.
About a
Hasn't
half
made it
hour,
to the rink.
Dirsa goes to me. He says, "I'll be right back." So we waited 30 minutes for right back, and he's still not back yet. But I'm sure he'll get here. He's probably tuning in right now. Maybe we'll get some chats in there. Thanks everybody for joining, and it looks like we've got a good crowd already across all the streaming services that we're on. Man, I'm actually today. I woke up. I actually wasn't even thinking of starting Oilers Live again Tuesdays this week. I was thinking I would do it next week, and I just had this feeling in my gut that said I'm ready for Oilers hockey. I am, about this time, and it's about the same time every year. School's starting, everything's going on, and I just keep thinking, is it October yet? Right? And oh God, I can't wait now. I'm itching for it. I'm waiting. Just till the training camp starts, which I understand is on the 16th. Is that right? Anybody know for sure?
19 days away from the first preseason game. There's
19
already guys
days
out.
away from the first preseason. I mean,
There's
it's
already
getting pretty
guys out
exciting.
there skating together. Holloway's out there dropping pucks around with Dry already.
Yeah. The informal skates are going on. Everything's going great. Lots of talk. The rumors are starting. Just today, we heard one that we'll talk about, which I don't get how it started or why, and I sure hope it's not true. But Jake Virtanen, I think Dash, you had the best line. I heard they're bringing back Manning again too.
Yeah, bring on Manning
Virtanen
too.
and Manning. Yeah, it's just for they're going to be wearing practice jerseys. They're just here for practice.
I actually think it was either Ryan or Brett Luchansky that had the bad line and said why he's not good.
Man, So anyway, lots. Maybe not lots to talk about. We're not going to be on here for too long tonight, but we'll chat about a few things and we'll just have some fun.
And so many stories Kelly from Beer League Heroes wants me to tell.
and see what stories. Yeah,
Get
Kelly
on here,
wants to
Kelly.
hear, and whoever wants to hear. I mean, I'm just excited. Thanks, Neil. Hello to you, Jax. Thank you for joining in.
Handsome man.
Hey guys, I mean, look, the team's starting to shape up a little bit. We're starting to get a little bit of an idea of who we're playing against. The Flames were maybe the biggest change in all of the off season in terms of just going from one team to another, it's. Have we ever had something like as big a change as this with the Calgary Flames? Like where you've had two top scorers from a team leave, and then, a couple of top guys from other teams come in? Like, does that ever happen? I mean, maybe the Oilers back in the day, I guess they would trade away.
How many times has that happened with any team?
What's that, Ryan?
I was going to say, how many times does that happen with any team? It's quite a remarkable changeover in the summer.
Yeah.
You don't just trade you don't let 115 point players walk and then just bring in other 115 point players and then follow them along with guys that were top 10 in Norris voting. It's just like a quick little scramble in the ninja blender and out come these guys that were better than what he had, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the big question. I mean, I've spent the greater part of Johnny Gaudreau's career in Calgary saying, like, if I was a Flames fan, that's a guy that I would take off the roster in a second. Like, he was always so frustrating to me. I mean, you could watch a million videos of him going into a corner and then turning away before he even gets to the puck because he doesn't want to fight for it. And you kind of, you knew that when playoffs come, that's what you're going to get from him. And albeit this was probably the best season he's ever had. Maybe Sutter lit a spark under him, but it's still nice. Love the shirt. Dash.
I was going to say, where'd you get that shirt? Oh, look at the hat. He's got the matching set.
Thanks for sending that package of merch, Michael. I appreciate you taking the time to send each one of the guys a giant box of hats and shirts and hoodies. What do you guys think of yours? Do you like them?
I think he bear lost my address.
I'll be happy to let you know once I get it.
Oh, this is awkward.
Damn Canada Post, eh?
This is really awkward. I'm sorry, guys.
It is. It does look good. It does look good. So back to the matter at hand. I feel like I've just watched like a wrestling video and the guy's taking off his wearing Snoop Dogg comes in and he's wearing the Oilers jersey and everybody.
How many sleepless nights did you have?
Dash comes in, he's wearing the heavy hockey shirt.
If you want me to be Snoop Dogg coming into this podcast, it's going to be a different show. Dash Nizzle.
All right, guys. So back to what I'm getting at with the Flames. I mean, this is like Gaudreau. I absolutely hated the guy. I hated him. I would have hated him if he was on my team, right? And yet, there's no doubt he's good with the puck. You give him the puck, he's good. He can dance around, but put him in a corner and he's just crap. And so here we've got Tkachuk, Gaudreau, Huberdeau, Kadri. All four of them have one thing in common. They're all coming off career years, right? But the biggest difference is that Kadri and Huberdeau have never in their lifetime reached even close to. At least Gaudreau's been close, right? And Tkachuk has been sort of going around that stage of being a point producer. And those two are still young. But now the Flames added two old guys coming off of a single career year. Now, the only thing I've got to say about this is I think, those of us that aren't looking with, Flames-colored glasses.
I lost mine years ago.
Yeah. We'll tell you that, there's a big question mark. But still, I listen to NHL radio. I listen to all these guys. And even if you put it on paper, they're not as good as they were last year. But there's still a significant amount of folks out there that have the Flames finishing ahead of the Oilers, including the guy that should take that shirt off, right? No. All right. So, yeah, you tell me, Dash, why you think that.
Jonathan Huberdeau is a better player than Jonathan Hockey. I think he's older. He's more mature. I think he has better, how do I put this, PG, habits away from the rink. That follows Tkachuk along to Florida as well. So I believe their roster has become not only maybe more talented and committed, maybe cleaner. They bring in guys like Mackenzie Weegar that
Weegar will be a difference maker. I
finished 2 points behind Darnell Nurse in Norris Trophy a couple of years ago. It was, arguably top 7 or 8 defensemen in the NHL that year. I think that the Flames defense struggled in the playoffs, and that it'll help to have Weegar. I think, it's a first pairing defenseman, and it's hard to get those guys, and then they lose Tkachuk and get back Kadri. Well, they lose some of the Wild, maybe, but they get, again, back more experience and somebody that's won a Stanley Cup. And Sutter potentially produced one of the most consistent hockey teams in the entire NHL last year. And in my opinion, he's got better players that are more committed.
They got lucky, though. They all had COVID at once, and after that, they had 0 injuries. That's a rarity.
Yeah, that's true.
Rarity.
The other thing is that their entire team isn't on a contract year this year as well, right? But
yeah. I think for me, the big thing is
I think they're the better team. I think they're the team to beat in the Pacific Conference.
You do.
I think it's their conference to lose. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I disagree on that. We can come back to that.
Yeah, no, this is what we're here to talk about, because look at, what Dash is saying is exactly what a lot of folks are saying out there, the analysts and that, and I'd say it's 50-50. There's 50% of them are saying it's the Oilers first overall in the Pacific to lose, right? But there's another half of them that are saying Calgary's going to be better than they were last year, do better than they did last year. And look, here's my problem with it, Dash, is you're right. You're adding a little bit more experience, a couple of guys that might be known to be a little bit more committed to the game of hockey on the ice and off the ice. I don't know that for sure. We got, we've got some stuff that we've heard obviously over the years, but here's my challenge with that, right? Is you've also got 2 guys that have had career years on different systems than they're going to be playing in Calgary. And to me, this is how anybody could say Calgary is going to be better off. That's the problem I have is nobody knows. How could you possibly know how this team, which is more or less new, the top scoring line in the league last year, sadly, was on the Calgary Flames. And 2 of those 3 players are now gone. So, I can tell you one thing. I don't expect Tkachuk, and I don't expect Gaudreau to do as well as they did last year, because there was definite chemistry on that line specifically.
And they're not on contract years anymore.
But I don't expect Huberdeau to come in either and come in and be the top scoring line for the Flames again this year, right? It's new. Will Lindholm be the same guy, right? Where does Kadri fit? And if you elevate Kadri in the lineup and he's not playing behind McKinnon, that's a big deal, right? You don't know is how much of that it's. I always talk it's like batting order, right? There's a batting order with how you play your centers, right? And if you got a guy that can protect your second line center, like a McKinnon, and you put him in front of Kadri as the first line center, well, Kadri gets some sweet, sweet matchups on defense, right? And will he get that this year if they have to elevate him? I mean, I don't know. I mean, and I don't know, will they elevate him? We don't know that either. Anyway, Jack Jensen, some of you may know, is listening
Handsome
in
guy.
on YouTube today. He's chirping us. He's shaking my head. These guys are talking Flames. And this is, and you're right, because
Well point.
Here's the thing: is I used to make fun. I lived in Calgary for a long time, and I'd wake up and I'd put on the Fan 960 on my drive to work, and 90% of it was talking about the Oilers, and I used to love it. It was just the saltiest chatter I'd ever heard, and that was it. And guys would call in. The announcers would talk Oilers hockey. Then the other 10% would be about the Flames. And I was fine with that. I mean, it gave me something to be mad about. And on the way to work, it was all good. Anyway.
Bitch about your support group with the detailer.
That's right. So, Ryan, what's your thoughts? I mean, you were thinking some things there.
Yeah, so I disagree. I think the Oilers are the team to beat here. Now, talking Flames, it's hard to argue that they're not better than last year. I mean, Mackenzie Weegar alone makes them better. You take Weegar, put him in the lineup over top of Goodbranson, that's an improved defense. Absolutely. But their forwards, I don't see them as being any better than they were last year. If anything, I think they're slightly a little bit worse. Because as you talked about, Michael, that top line was the best line in the league last year, and 2/3 of it's now gone. I think that was a situation where the sum was greater than the value of the parts. I don't view Gaudreau as the third best scoring player in the league. I don't view Tkachuk as a consistent 100-point guy, nor do I view Lindholm as a point per game guy.
Well said.
So I think just the fact that the chemistry is now broken up, I think the value of that top line is going to go down. And now you're putting Tyler Toffoli on that top line with Huberdeau and one of Lindholm or Kadri. It's good, but it's not game breaking in my opinion.
Was it chemistry or was it system?
Well, part of it might be system. You're right, Dash, 100%.
Yep.
But then the question I always have:
system doesn't lead to 100-point seasons. I don't.
No. But
and the top three players in the NHL and plus minus were that line. So
and the rest of their forwards are playing under the same system, right? They didn't all break their career highs this year.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
And will they get through the season with the amount of injuries they had last year? Right?
Well, I think last year was the perfect storm of good things happening for them. Like Kirk was talking about, they had COVID all at the same time, got that out of the way early in the year. Meanwhile, you got a team in Edmonton that went 2 months without a win, essentially. I don't remember the numbers off the top of my head, but there were some dark times here, December, January.
We've all buried that down deep.
Yeah, we were trying to repress those memories. I'm sorry, everybody. But I don't see – there's going to be stretches, of course.
6 and 16, I don't know.
But I don't see Edmonton going through 2 months where they win at like a 5% or 10% clip. It's just not going to happen again. And even with that, they were still within a handful of points of Calgary.
Okay, so let's maybe shift gears a little bit here because, Jack's right. We don't want to talk too much about the Flames. Yeah, exactly, right? I mean, tarnish the show's fantastic record of talking about good hockey.
Everybody wash your mouth.
That's right. But let's talk about, if you believe the Oilers are going to finish ahead of the Flames, which I do, I think Kirk does, I think Ryan does, and Dash isn't sure. Let's talk about why. Jax says on YouTube, he says, I'm elated to see how Jack Campbell is going to lead our team this season. Right?
That's the other big reason I think that, we addressed our biggest flaw from the playoffs. We were able to beat the Flames in 5 games. Now, I'd say defense and goaltending were their biggest issues. Markstrom, fantastic goaltender, very capable of stepping it up in the playoffs. But the
not
Oilers
against the Oilers.
Yeah, not against the Oilers. That's not just a playoff thing. That's a regular season versus Edmonton.
Living rent free.
Yeah, we're rent free in that guy's head. So that hasn't changed unless he's got some mental coaching or something over the summer. Who knows? But yeah, the Flames defense got better, but they needed to.
His
be
wife's
a
pregnant.
lot
He's probably
better.
even more distracted.
We all know what happened to Talbot when he had kids.
Exactly. Twins and gone. He gone.
Poor guy.
But no, like the Oilers, like how many goals did they score in that series, and how quickly was it over? And we addressed our biggest flaw, whereas the Flames got marginally better.
And Markstrom isn't going to sleep for months.
That's where I'm sitting on that. But happy to go deeper into it if you guys want, but that's where I'm at.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I think it's good. I mean, those are good points. I mean, that was our biggest flaw. We've addressed that, and then we've added in We've added in Murray.
Yep.
This one's interesting to me, and we're going to chat about that. But go ahead, Dash. You were going to say something.
No, just like I didn't come by it waywardly. I had thought about it a bit. It is
were
50-50, it's I had a lot of time to myself in the mountains this
That's right.
weekend. I don't know. I just Sutter's too consistent and he's too good for the regular season. He's got an expiry date of 2 or 3 years and he's right where that is. Maybe by next year it starts to wander, but is losing Monahan that big a deal? Like, I think they've really improved their team quite a bit and they know the system that much better. The only thing that's not going for them is Mangiapane, Tkachuk, and Goudreau aren't all in contract years, which I did think helped them tremendously. So, who knows? Is Nurse healthy, you guys? Like, knock on wood.
I don't want to go back on this whole Flames thing, but all of the players on the Flames, minus
Michael
Toffoli,
loves the Flames.
are all like they all had career
Can't stop
seasons,
talking about them.
right? They all had career seasons. Like, so
Kirk, we're going to talk about the Leafs
if
next.
all of them have a career season again, then we'll see. Anyway, okay, Kirk, you got it. You got the floor. Like, and by the way, love the jersey. Love the jersey.
Old school. Old
Yeah,
school.
baby.
No, it's good. It's good.
Did you? But just on that topic, did you guys see the new? Was it the third jerseys they're going to use this year? They're the old McFarlane oil drop.
Yeah, Gazzola gave a little peek ski.
Am I the
What'd you
only one
guys
that
think?
thinks they're disappointing?
Well,
Yeah, they're whatever.
It depends on whether you like the McFarlane thing, right?
See, I actually loved that oil drop jersey, the original, but I think this one they totally dropped the ball on design on this one. Like,
What would you do then, Rye?
so first of all, this is a reverse retro.
I used to like
jersey.
you, Ryan. Are we just going to argue this entire episode?
No,
we used to
that's
be
wrong.
cool.
That's
We used to be cool.
There's no good radio or TV in agreeing there, Dash.
Well, Dirsa's gone, so you got to be the asshole.
Yeah, pretty much.
Anybody even heard from Dirsa yet? Do we know what happened?
Let me check my
Still.
phone while Ryan makes some sort of useless point.
Oh man.
But they got 4 colors going in there. You got the orange is kind of randomly in there, and it's a reverse retro jersey. They went with like that same navy blue
Right.
base color with a little bit of silver and white trim. If you were going to really do it, I'd have gone white jersey with some navy and silver trim, and I'd have ditched the orange entirely because it has no place in that jersey, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You know who has 0 Fs to give? Daryl Cates.
That's
Fair.
You
It's
know-
going to make him money.
Keep
Go
cashing them
ahead and sell.
checks.
to me, that's like the most disappointing thing. I mean, do you guys love this like new jersey every year to buy? Like, is that
It's
something you
getting-
guys
It's
like?
to me a lot of friggin' money. That's
Yeah, some people
Yeah.
like it, right? Like I'm sure there and I'm not judging you, not out loud anyway, but do you do you guys like this? I mean, do you like having to buy it? Like, I mean, you don't have to. We choose to, but like
I haven't bought a
I
new
what I
jersey
don't like
since
is that they're
2006.
changing the main jerseys. They're going back to the royal and orange. That's great, no issue. But they're changing manufacturers after next season,
Oh,
right?
It's
So like
change
we're going
again.
like 2,
Yeah.
or it's 2 out of 3 years, or 2 years in a row where we're looking at new home jerseys. That's frustrating.
As long as they got a shiny chalice raised above them, I don't give 2 shits.
Yeah,
Valid
exactly.
point too. I mean, yeah, first world problems for me over here. But, minor qualm.
Ryan 3 fingers into his drink is
Drinking
is a good
scotch.
Ryan.
Scotchy scotch.
yeah.
That's just stuff.
Hey guys, this is the first time, by the way, for those of you tuning in, that you can see. Oh, I'm moving the wrong way. There's Merlin there. Do you see Merlin? Lying
Yeah,
there,
passed
sleeping
out.
behind me.
Rough
passed
night
out.
already.
Just like most of the listeners. Passed out.
They fell
Dirsa in
asleep
the
5
corner.
minutes in.
Before we even got on air, waiting for us.
Oh man, Neil on YouTube says sounds like Dash wants a Flames jersey. I love
Ouch.
it.
Ouch.
Although,
Speaking of New
I'm
Jersey,
still going to enjoy when we beat them in 5 games in the playoffs.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was Neil on YouTube was talking like, what's with 3 games against the Flames in a full schedule? Has anybody,
Yeah,
has
like-
anybody
on that one.
heard why that
NHL
is?
fail. Just an NHL
Yep.
fail. It's made randomly, but you'd think that they'd go, oh, that's one of the biggest rivalries in hockey. We should probably get that rolling.
But that's what they've talked about. They've talked about like consistently sort of upping the rivalry piece of hockey. And it just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm like if
Weird
you
move for
you know
sure.
if it's done randomly, don't you look at that and say maybe hit the random button one more time? Like this is awful.
Yeah, I don't get it. I seriously, and that's like, especially after this playoffs, like, wouldn't you want to capitalize on that and cash in even more? Kind of stoke the, get the back up the Brinks truck one more time. Kind of.
Maybe
know
Markstrom's
where it's
got
gonna go.
pictures on somebody.
Yeah, there you go.
those
Blackmail.
games
I
are
don't
going to
want
be
to
more
play him until the
special this year.
playoffs.
'cause it's
And then Leon has pictures on him.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Freaking
those
sad.
games are going to be more interesting just because there's fewer of them. Like, guys are going to get more up for him. Fans are going to get more up for him. Like, there's this. Remember the All-Canadian division the year we played everybody 10 times? Like,
Yeah.
I was actually kind of sick of watching the Canadian teams. Whereas
Tell me
before-
we're not headed to the second round versus them again, though.
I
The
mean,
way
we
it's
might get
lined
them in
up,
the second round. There's no guarantee. But one of the 2 teams wins a division. One of the 2 teams wins in the first round. It's happening again.
one of us will get the Flames and one of us will get the
Stars.
Nashville Predators. Oh, the Stars are good. I don't know. That's a good question, boys. Who do you think? How many Pacific? I put a poll out. I actually haven't looked at what the answers are on the poll, but how many teams do you think are going to make the playoffs in the Pacific Division?
I said 3.
You
I'm with
answered
you.
3. Yeah, I think that's what I answered too. Michael.
Yeah. I mean,
I think Vancouver sneaks in, just does a spoiler and just
look, I mean, the Pacific Division's the big question mark, right? Like,
especially Vegas now.
yeah, I mean,
Let her up for
Vegas.
the year, and
Yeah,
so
they're,
is
they're
Benoit.
their wild
I
card.
mean, that's like
They got no
honestly, I
goaltending.
gotta
They're
laugh
like
at
us
Eichel. a little
last
bit.
from
Like-
last year. I mean,
And they got worse. Like, they lose Max Pacioretty. Yeah, he was injured last year, but you're replacing
They
Patch
dodged the bullet,
with,
though.
Kessel.
Don't get me started.
Admiral Hot Dog
Hey.
Tedeschi.
Hey,
Wait,
Bear's
I don't
gonna-
reckon I've
he
heard
Bear's
of
going to
it.
be spinning around to throw his Devon Shore posters back up on the wall. Relax, okay?
Oh,
Okay, well, I'm done.
If I got to hear another 20 minutes about Devon Shore saving the Oilers from He Bear, okay? Don't go there.
Kessel. Man, I called Kessel personally and tried to get him over to the Oilers.
So my polls at 60% of the people said 3 teams, 38% of the people said 4 teams, and 3% of the people said 5 teams. So I think the Oilers, Flames, and Kings are all improved. I'm not sure Vegas has got it, and I'm not sure the Nucks have done enough. So I vote 3-2 if I could.
LA. Do you think LA
Yeah,
gets
with-
back in?
Yeah, with LA. So
Yeah, I
Josh
don't know
led
with-
On
Seattle.
top of that team, they get Doughty back. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Well,
like LA.
how about Anaheim? What did they come back with this year? I mean, you got some guys. that,
Rebuild
know.
City.
Yeah, they don't even want Sonny.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think
Klingberg moves the
Demko.
needle a little bit, but yeah, I agree. Like, they might push for a wild card. They might be more relevant, but I don't see them as a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see them in the playoffs, but they're kind of one of those question mark teams, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you get, you could get these guys. They're all young players. They're all skilled players, and they added Klingberg back there, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not
Yeah.
like
That's
You know,
for a
I
trade
agree.
deadline dump, man. There's no way
100%
they got
agree
him.
that
$7 million trade deadline dump, though.
They're flipping Klingberg for a first at the
Yeah.
trade deadline.
If they're lucky.
Yeah.
If they can find
Wow.
a team to take on
Watch
that,
out,
if
though.
they find a contender to take that $7 million contract on,
There'll be
they
somebody
can
out there.
retain. but-
They'll
Depends
get a
what
third
season he
team
has.
in the mix there and flip it for like they'll chop the salary down and even more.
They could. Those deals aren't easy to do, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Klingberg
Anaheim
might be
out,
worth it.
Flames in. Everybody think they're in.
Yeah, the Flames are in.
Yep,
Oilers in.
In.
Kings.
In.
they're in for me.
I still say Vancouver. I hate to say that. It pains me to
Demko's
say it,
good,
but
man.
He's a fucking good goaltender, man.
Demko's
I
so
say
good.
I say even charges for the Vezina there this year.
What about
You're gonna have to if they want that.
what about Ottinger then?
Yeah,
Can he do the
Well,
same thing for Dallas?
yeah, he
Or are you
might.
gonna spoke out of both sides of your mouth?
Oh,
tonight?
here we go again. No,
You know
Mike,
what, like-
that's like.
I think
Dash knows
tell you the
exactly
truth.
what that's about. There.
screw you, Dash. I'm on to make my point here right now. I think Dallas falls back on their ass after last year. I honestly do.
Dallas out and who did you say? Seattle in?
No,
Vancouver
no.
in. So
Vancouver.
Vancouver's in and Dallas is out. That's not
Have
terrible.
LA in then, Kirk?
Peter
That's
Griffin
not terrible.
happens
Was
to be a
that
great
there, Lotsy?
character. Peter Griffin on YouTube.
Do you have
says,
LA in there, Kirk?
Canucks added Lazar.
No.
So
No,
they're
I
set.
think
Peter-
I think they fall backwards there too.
Peter Griffin is a Canucks fan.
They do a Oilers a la 2017-18.
And who did they add? I never even heard of that guy.
Oh, Fiala.
No,
Who
no,
had-
no. The
Where's
Canucks.
where's he at in,
Oh, the
in Vancouver?
Fiala went to LA.
I thought you were talking
Went to
about
LA. That's what I thought.
they added Mikhaev.
Oh yeah, that Russian kid.
Yeah, from Toronto. He's good.
He's good on a
okay,
mid-salary
so-
too.
So the Kings we've got 2-4. I'm gonna say the Kings are in. So I'd say Anaheim out, Calgary in, Edmonton in, Kings in,
I say
San Jose.
Vancouver's in. No.
No way.
No.
Bye-bye. Peter Griffin, what makes the Canucks get into the playoffs?
Lazar. He said
Lazar.
It's gonna eat hamburgers off the ice.
He was
There's the
kidding
X
about
factor
that.
for you right there.
But man, like that kid is a really good interview. Like
Yeah, he is.
He's a great guy.
He
He was
is-
my favorite Oil King during that whole.
He is not.
I've got text messages that have hearts beside Lazar's name. Like he was far and away my favorite player.
I am
from
certain
that.
he's never taken media training. Like
He played with a smile on his face through
would you need it, though?
everything.
If you had his character and his personality,
He just man,
Non-stop smiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he's hilarious.
It's like
He's
Ned
good.
Flanders.
He is good.
Oh, coolie dokely, boys.
Hey, but you know,
Hey.
my hat's off to him. Like he's never had like a terrific season since coming into the league, but he's still managed to get
I'm really
Like,
entertained
get
by
ice
Heber's dog right now.
right. I know the dog's behind me. He's dying. He's trying to like, what's he doing?
Just
there?
doing lap after
He's
lap
doing-
after
he's trying to
lap.
find
trying
a
to dig a
comfy
hole in
spot.
your office.
He's making a
This
nest.
is how you know it's preseason.
You know how we know it's preseason? Dursa left and never came back. I don't even know. I'm waiting for him to like put a little chat thing in the.
Signs of life over
He's
there.
gonna. Hey guys, where are you? Where are you? I'm right here. He's
Poor
sitting
guy's
in the
stuck in the
waiting
waiting
room
room.
on the Zoom call right now. Wondering. He's probably talking to us right now. Why aren't you guys listening to me?
Hello?
All right. So we got. Where did I end off? I ended off with San Jose.
San Jose.
San Jose is a no. Kraken. No. The Kraken are way worse than anyone even expected.
Yeah, I
It's
took
like-
the bait last year. That was a
Yeah.
important decision making on my part.
I don't think Borkstrom and Wright are going to do it for them.
No.
I like that Bjorkstrand signing, but
Oh, me too, but it's not getting you to the
They literally
playoffs.
stole him. Yeah.
So
They did steal him.
Canucks.
Yeah.
We got Morris says they're in.
Yeah. Two things. Bruce Boudreau and
Boudreau's a
Um,
big deal, right? Like second year there.
but he's never
That's a
won the
big deal.
playoffs, so that's a sad part, right? But
Yeah.
good for us then.
Tippett.
But
Yeah.
no, man. Demko's a top 3 to 5 goalie in this league.
Yeah. I would
I'm
not
not-
be surprised if he made Vezina finalist this year.
Mm-hmm.
Would
You know
not
what
be
they
surprised.
need is they need Elias Pettersson to come back to life. They
Yeah.
need Brock Besser to reappear.
Bo
And-
Wait,
Horvat.
how do they sign Pedersen after what they just gave to Miller?
Yeah, that's not my job. That's going to be a whole other series of issues. But yeah, I mean, JT Miller, unbelievable season last year, unbelievable couple years in Vancouver. But if he's your best player, that's not good enough. Like they need Elias Pettersson and they need Brock Besser to
Hughes.
step up, and they
Yeah.
need Demko to lead the way because like that defense is not good enough.
Yeah. They still got Tyler Myers too, right?
They sure do.
Yeah, he's terrible.
Well, they got 20, like close to 21 million tied up between Quinn, Ekman, Larson, and Myers.
Forgot Larson was there too.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind that Myers pick up at the start, but everybody in their dog knew that it was going to be a bad contract in a handful of years, and I don't know how many years in we are, but it's starting to look like a bad contract. Even Merlin knows, right?
Merlin's like,
No comment. No comment.
yeah,
he says.
he's just keeping it cool back there. He knows what it's all about, and he also knows when to shut up and not say anything. Just in case you guys are wondering, he's the
So
best.
Stoffer
He's the best
Stoffer
fucking
hinted
guest
at
on the program right now. Merlin's the best fucking guest I've got. He just sits there and doesn't do anything until I ask him to. You guys, I'm putting you all on mute. I'm gonna run this shit. You guys are about to get a lesson. Guys are
Love
about
it.
to get a lesson. All right. So what were you gonna say about Stoffer?
he was hinting all show that they're bringing in a right-handed
God.
PTO player. So I don't know what we're all supposed to jump on the
Jeez.
Vertanen wagon there,
You know what
or
I
if,
love about being an Oilers fan is we've
or if he's
heard-
bringing in Louis Eriksson,
Louis
or
player.
like
The only player we weren't getting this year was Crosby, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that like? Weren't we
Tyler
signing?
Pitlick coming back.
We were signing Kessel. We were getting Patrick Kane. Like
Let's get Chris Versteeg, Alex Jason, all the PTO boys.
Bringing the old boys back together, bringing the band.
He
together.
did talk about Chase on today. I just about fucking checked
I know,
my phone right
yeah.
out there. Just
Oh,
like,
man.
shut up already.
He toned that down pretty quick.
Oh,
I'm looking at the
Stoffer
list, and
already
there's
knows who it is. He
Yeah.
knows.
oh, of course he does. I'm looking at the list, and there's nobody named Ryan. So I guess I
Bit
don't
of a
know
surprise, bit of a plot twist.
if there was, that's who my pick would be.
people still talking about Kane
Hey,
though too.
guys, my name's Ryan and I'm right-handed.
Ooh,
So-
There you go.
you should have an application
Could
in.
happen.
PTO coming on up.
Could happen.
That no, nobody wants that.
About
Spencer
Tyler Ennis, maybe.
Tyler Ennis.
Isn't he a lefty?
Yeah.
I think he still play right side though. Yeah.
Ryan
Well-
Kessler. That's who Hebert wanted last episode. He shoots right.
Man, I was disappointed.
I
I
want
cried.
Corey Perry.
Cried all night. Cried myself to sleep when he signed.
You want Corey Perry so you can go to the final and lose.
Corey Perry. There's a guy.
Cursed.
Hate the guy, but I love him on the team.
I also hate Corey Perry.
I hate him too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as an Oilers fan, we kind of have to hate Corey Perry. Rudistic on YouTube says Subban on a PTO.
Look,
What's
Tommy
the league?
Gazzola said he doesn't want to come, so I would take that at face value. But you know, if he wants to come at minimum wage or $1 million, sure. I'm sure Subban wants $2 million or $2.5. I don't know.
I think the only way that happens is if they move Tyson Berry out, and I don't think
Yeah.
that's happening.
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Yeah, I think Ryan Murray was probably the last move on the point for now.
Yeah, I think our defense is set.
Yeah, well, here's the thing that look, I'm all right with is initially I thought, hey, Holland's got to do some more work, but why not see what we've got now? We've got enough to be, 1 or 2 in the Pacific, right? Up to the deadline. Like this team is, we're also helped by the fact that we're in the Pacific Division, right? And so, this team's got enough in the lineup to be 1 or 2 going into the deadline. And then you can, not a lot of teams have that luxury, right? There's a handful of teams in the league that have the luxury that they can get to the deadline and then make the changes they need to make. So somebody will take Barry on if that's who you need to move at the deadline.
Where's he going to go though? That's the thing.
But somebody will take the contract, right? If that's
true.
who you need to move. If you need to move him, to shore up the defense a little bit and get some.
Michael loves Shore.
I love Devin Shore. Maybe who knows?
X Factor.
Who
Sure.
knows X Factor? He can play up and
I
down
think
the
it,
lineup.
I think if Barry goes anywhere, it's next summer.
He loves them so much he has to use them as a verb. Shore up the D line.
Shore. Yeah.
Shore up fourth line center. We don't need Kessel. We've got Shore. I love the Jersey Shore.
I'm in this right
I'm in
now.
the Halifax
Be
Shore.
more like Merlin. Be more like Merlin. That's my. I'm gonna get a shirt with that. Oh yeah, look at him. Jeez, he's gonna puke.
Yeah,
That's
so
on the
Throw
nester.
up on the. He's gonna throw up. Sideline that man.
Jeepers.
Garrity says, "I think the players love Barry."
Yeah. No.
I mean, we've all heard that.
Big time.
My
Vogel
point
too, though.
is this, right? Is we don't necessarily need the Oilers don't necessarily need to make any more changes up until the season starts. What they've got in the lineup, and we still don't know how are some of these players going to perform in training camp, right? Like guys like Holloway. I mean, will there be enough, right, for him to make the team? He's already
I think
out
he starts
he
the
said,
year on the roster.
doing the informal skates with Draisaitl. Just more time around a team.
Seems to always be some hero that comes out of training camp that scores 7 goals that everybody thinks is going to be the next 50 goal scorer.
Matheson.
Who was that one kid
Matheson
at
will tell him where to go.
Tyrati.
Tyre Hattie, thank you. Yeah, I was going to say the kid out of Portland, but I couldn't remember his name.
What was Jeez.
Ryan
The
Nugent
solution
Hopkins.
for McDavid.
Who was our guy last year? It was
Tyrati 2.0.
oh man.
Perlini.
Perlini.
Oh, yeah,
Perlini.
Perlini.
Yeah, Perlini.
Lamborghini.
Thank you.
Lamborghini.
You know the funny part is Matheson came out with a tweet after training camp and said, "Yeah, look at where Tyrati is," and everybody shit on Matheson. The one time he was right, and everybody remember.
Wow.
Totally went after him and said some pretty awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
You had to know those stats were not going to extrapolate.
Nope.
I'm sorry.
But where's he at now? He's got to be signed somewhere.
Who,
I don't think
Perlini?
he's signed
No,
anywhere.
he's
I heard
unrestricted.
nothing.
He's UFA still.
He's
No,
just-
I'm pretty sure he's RFA.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He is an RFA.
is he an RFA? Is he in our
He's
lineup?
RFA.
We didn't
may not-
qualify
Oh,
him.
no, we didn't. We
I don't-
didn't qualify him. So, yeah, he's a UFA.
Yeah,
now.
We
okay.
didn't qualify him. He's a UFA.
I
That makes
just
sense.
stop and think about that there for a second.
Mhm.
That's right. Yep, Perlini is a UFA. So
Do you
he's
think
signed.
he goes back to Europe? Or it's too late for Europe, I would say now.
Well, he's 26. I mean, he can.
They've just set a lot of their rosters there already.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
too late for this coming season.
Unless there's injuries or something, I guess. But depends what they think they can get out of him. What did he do in his Europe over there before?
His
We
numbers
discovered
were
the
actually
distinct
pretty awful.
defensive side of his game, I guess. Wasn't enough though.
Nope.
Who's going to be the big surprise, guys, for the Oilers this year? Oh, we
Well,
just you know what? We're all over the place. We didn't finish. Vancouver.
I was going to ask
Seattle is
about
out. Vancouver. Who says they're in? Anyone?
No.
No, besides Kirk.
Vancouver.
I don't
Yeah,
think
they're in.
I
Vegas
don't-
in, Dallas out.
and I'd take Vancouver over Vegas. I think.
Yeah.
Really, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Vegas got worse.
Yeah.
I don't think
Okay.
Leonard was that good to begin with.
Yeah.
I know they lost Patches
kinda.
too, but
They lost Patrick, and they also lost Matthias Janmark.
Oh yeah,
Another
Our
depth guy.
X-Factor.
We kicked him up.
Out of
yeah,
him.
Mark
That's
was
true.
playing top line for them last year for a good portion of it.
Well, who else did they
They
have?
didn't have anybody.
They had 18 roster spots.
I mean,
much all the
Eichel
AHL team.
is a regular perennial playoff contender.
I was going to ask you guys with the Murray signing, what do you think happens with Sam Rukov and Neiman Lyon?
They're just pushed farther down.
Yeah, I mean,
They got to
Nemo's
clear waivers though.
Yeah, Nemo doesn't have to
Are
clear
they?
waivers, so he can go up and down.
Nemo's on a two-way.
But Samarukov,
Yeah.
I think he'll end up on waivers. I don't think he's getting claimed. It's like I think he starts the year in Vaco. Like I'm pretty sure Holland's willing to risk losing Samarukov at this point.
Fair enough.
Well, we've got a whole ton of guys that are on that sort of sixth defense spot, right? Like that's and that's not bad. But the other thing though is you never know. Like one of those guys sitting there.
Yeah, I think Cuckoo's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, toast.
I think he's gonna be buried.
Yeah. But you never know who out of that list, right, ends up playing above their game.
I was still thinking Russell might come back, but I think the Ryan Murray signing ended that.
Yeah.
I wondered almost if like Ken Holland was just too goddamn old and he didn't put his reading glasses on and he saw Ryan Murray and he thought he was signing Ryan McLeod. Like, oops. I saw somebody on Twitter say, have you ever seen Ryan McLeod and Ryan Murray in the same room before?
They did. Oilers social media had a couple Ryan McLeod tweets the other day or today, I think. So
Yeah, signing and
Yeah, he's involved in some PR thing.
yeah. So you know something's getting done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a matter of how much. Like they were saying on Stoffer's show on Friday, it's going to be 1 year, likely 800 or 900K, somewhere in that range.
Curious where Rodriguez is gonna go. He's been pretty freaking ballsy to stand out this long, expecting to still get more.
Yeah, I don't like. I heard his name come up in a rumor for PTO here. I mean, like, I'm sorry, that guy deserves more than a PTO.
Stoffer said he's got a $2 million plus contract he's sitting on right now, but he's holding off and thinking he can get more elsewhere.
Yeah.
I mean,
Calgary.
if it was July, I'd say good for you, do it up. But it's September, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Clock's
saying.
ticking.
It's just balls of stone.
Yeah, but
It's
no, I
got a
don't
unique
see him
skill
signing a
set,
PTO.
but
You mentioned
PTO
Zach Aston
can't be
Reese there
too,
today
man.
too.
He's a center.
I mean, I'm like, there isn't a player that hasn't been mentioned in Oilers circles.
I know we're becoming the new Vegas. It's
Just a list
disgusting.
there. You just got the list out. Yeah, we got
Like, I
Zach
know what it's
Aston
like
Reese
to
on
be a Maple
PTO.
Leafs fan now. It's like, oh yeah,
Oh,
everybody's
you-
coming. Everybody's
You
gonna
love the
join
Leafs,
team.
Michael.
Man, like this year, it's even been worse, right? Like literally every name that comes up must be playing for the Oilers. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, can we maybe field 2 Oilers teams this year? Is that possible? Is that something?
The A team and the B
One's
team.
called the AHL. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need top 6 spots for Tulio and Borgo, and I would assume the rest get sent back to junior.
Yeah, well,
Savoy.
I mean, Burgo for sure will be sent back. You got to think.
Schaefer will get sent back.
Yeah.
Yeah, Schaefer will go back for sure. I think Borgo plays AHL.
My little nephew's in camp at Seattle right now, Cohen. And he said Schaefer's a fucking beast. That was his text. Schaefer is a fucking beast.
Like, I watched him in that WHL Championship Series in June. Yeah, he was one of Seattle's better players. Like he was all over the puck on the forecheck. He was just annoying. Like he's the type of player that we don't have on our roster. So
Yeah.
I hope there's a spot for him down the road.
Yeah, I don't hate that.
It's an interesting player. Like I'm not expecting top 6 or anything, but he can be an effective bottom 6
Grease.
annoying guy.
Grease.
Well, there's a lot of interesting guys, on the Oilers prospect list, right? Like we were talking about Petrov last year, Tulio, right? You got some guys that they're not
Lavoie,
going to be
if he-
NHL ready, but
Look at that video I sent you at Tulio hucking the mitts today. That was pretty impressive, you guys, at 5'10", 180. Like he held
Who was he
his
hucking
own
the
and
mitts with?
he ended that fight. I don't know, Darnay or something. Go look at the link. I sent it to you.
Was that?
You didn't send it.
I saw
Yes,
something.
I did.
Where
Yes, I
was
did.
it though? Where was the fight?
I have to go look at the thread.
All right. Well, all right. We're looking at the thread while we're doing that because we've got. I see it right here. Bélanger, Alec Bélanger, Kingston Frontenacs. It's on hockey.
I think it was in Kingston.
How's Lavoie doing or looking? He's probably going to be playing in
in
Bakersfield again, I'd say.
Yeah.
Stick there on YouTube.
Yeah,
It's probably going
I
to be
agree.
in Baco.
Lavoie?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a
100%.
nice trade Holland ended up making when he traded out that third and ended up getting a fourth and a fifth and pulled in Tulio and Carter Savoy.
Yeah, great play.
Great move. Saw two guys sitting out there that were high value and made a perfect blend of moves to get them. Worked out well. I bet you if that draft was done over, that Savoy at least would be in the second round.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the Oilers have, they've got a lot of guys that they
One of them has to work out. Like, honestly, that's it. Like, Savoy's got lethal shooting. Bourgault has lethal
he's just a great player. He's an
instincts
all-around
in the
Vision.
offensive end and vision. And like that video I showed you guys today, how well he can just hitch up and slow the play down and bring. He looked like Joe Thornton, you guys. Like he
my
brings
problem
three
with
guys to him
Bourgault-
and find the open guy, and this guy's snipe, right? And like if you can do that with Leon and McDavid nonstop, or McLeod for that matter.
I would have loved
know.
if, and this is in my mind, and I talked about this last year. I think Bourgault is one of those players that should have been playing AHL this past season, and probably would have
maybe.
helped him out. And so I'm kind of curious when he transitions to, professional hockey, how that looks.
Well, you just
for him.
said they'd send him back, didn't you?
Oh, they'll send him to Bakersfield. They can't send him back to.
That's what I
no,
thought. He's already played
he's-
4
yeah,
years. Yeah.
No, he'll be in Bakersfield this year. But last year he couldn't play for Bakersfield.
He played there when he was 15, man, and scored that year.
Yeah. No, Bourgault was
Bourgault,
awesome. I mean, he
just-
was
yeah.
dominant. But he, watching him play. I mean, I watched him play here in Halifax, and he just looked bored, right? Like he didn't have the like it just wasn't
Nightly
competitive
motivation.
enough for him, right?
But
And
it was in the
he's,
playoffs.
He's winning. He's scoring all the time. He's doing all that, and it's just I just worry that bad habits set in. So you get into, and who knows if they did. I just that's the way it looked when he was here, and so I think that he would have been better off playing a year of professional hockey last year. But the way the CHL and the NHL have that agreement, he had to be playing junior hockey last year. And I think he's one of those guys that agreement really hurts.
Yeah.
When I had Pomodi on there on my show there, he spoke about Petrov should be in the AHL too.
Oh, I
rather
think so, too.
rather than junior, just hurting his development. He said there just because he has bad habits, all because of the junior side of hockey.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, there are some of those players, right? Like, the Petrovs, the Bourgaults, right? That it could use a year in pro, but not at the NHL level, obviously. And Kelly is listening in from Beer League. He's, he says don't get attached to any young guys not on the Oilers roster. But he's right.
Kelly,
right? I mean,
my
we know-
number one fan, welcome. I'd just like to give you a personal welcome. Let me know, reach out if there's any stories you want to hear, anything from me personally. I'm here for you. Thanks, Kelly.
Oh man, I tell you. Anyway, I mean, the way I look at it, right? Like these, I think over the next, 5 years or so, they've got to change, especially as the players get a little bit bigger, right? Like the guys get bigger, they get a little bit more skilled. Somebody needs to, change that rule and have, whether it's kind of like the exceptional player rule in junior, right? Where maybe it's an exceptional player can go and play, in the AHL at a certain age or whatever. Because Burgo, so there's guys. It happens every year. There's got to be a half dozen guys that could go play pro hockey, and I think it hurts. I think it hurts the CHL in a few ways. In that I think those guys will sometimes. If they know that they're going to be that type of player, will go and play NCAA in advance because they'll be playing against men a little bit sooner, right? I don't know. Maybe not. Jax is saying there's some talk about Murray on YouTube right now. He's had 182 game season, so a little bit injury prone. What are your guys' thoughts? I mean, we've kind of talked about everything else about Murray. There's been some articles. Everybody talks about, maybe Oilers need a guy like this on the roster to get them past the hump, right? And most teams, they have a guy that's been there and been successful and might not be, whatever you want to call them, glue guys or whatever. They're not top liners, but they're guys that know and are good for the team. Is Murray that guy? And there's not much negative about this signing in my mind. But is Murray the right guy? Like, is he the right guy at the right time for this Oilers to take a little bit of a leap?
This is one of those situations where I start to think the old experience thing and I won a Stanley Cup thing is a little overdrawn, like a little overhyped. I mean, because Murray didn't play in the playoffs. He didn't play much for Colorado in the second half.
He was hurt. He would have.
Yeah, he was hurt. Absolutely.
He would have played instead of Jack Johnson, though.
He probably would have, for sure, but he didn't. Right? So we're hailing him as a guy that's done all these things to win a Stanley Cup. But yes, he was in the room. He saw some things happening, but he wasn't on the ice in those moments. So don't get me wrong. I love the Ryan Murray signing. That's not why I like the Ryan Murray signing.
Whatever. Drive Ryan Murray out of sound. He barely got here.
Do you with Ryan Murray?
Ryan. Too many Ryans around.
With Ryan Murray, do you go the route say like a Kawhi Leonard and load management? Do you just kind of do a rotating on the I know Woodcroft was doing 11-7.
Yeah.
Do you get a rotation happening there? Or
Here's
what
what I think to happen there. Like, if there's a night where most nights they'll probably go 12-6 traditional, Ryan Murray's in that spot over Broberg. But they want to get Broberg some NHL games. They need to develop him. So there will be a lot of nights where they go 11-7 too. And I think the way the roster breakdown on the cap is setting up, they're not going to be carrying a full 23. I think there's going to be a lot of nights where they do go 11 forwards because they're not going to be able to carry all that many forwards. I think that Holloway and Broberg are both going to be on the roster because, as they were saying on Friday's episode of Stopper, that since they both have performance bonuses and the Oilers are going to be operating in LTIR, let's say they send them down to start the year, they call them back up. Now they count for their cap hit and their performance bonus. So they actually count for more if we start them in the A and then call them up. So it makes sense to just keep them on the roster from day one. Utilize them, absolutely. I think Holloway's got the boots to fit in from day one, and Broberg's already shown that he can hold his own here. So have him on the roster from day one, but you break him in slowly. And Ryan Murray helps us do exactly that. So, I don't expect Ryan Murray to play 82 games. I don't expect Broberg to play 82 games either. But I think they can both get into good 40-plus.
I think Beer League Hero's right, and we just got Ryan Murray so that we can dissect his brain and find out other dirty secrets down in Colorado. Might be bamboo and a boarding table for that guy.
That's not, that's not right. Like it's all part of it, but it's not a bad signing in that it does give you some opportunity to have a guy with some experience who can, even if he is injury prone, right? Like we want to see more out of Broberg, to Ryan's point, right? We want to see Broberg get some games in. I talked about this a few weeks back when we were on, and I was mentioning it tonight too. Like this team you expect going into the deadline is going to be 1 or 2 in the Pacific Division. And so you got a guy now with some NHL talent that hopefully gets you, 30, 40 games before that time, right? And gives you a chance to shield those young guys like Broberg and who knows what happens with Niemelainen and Samorukov and some of these other defensemen that are kind of pushing at the bit to get into the lineup, right? But you give them at least some opportunity to maybe play a couple of games. If you don't like the way Murray's playing, you can sit him, right? Or if you want to give, some other players, he's a guy that's never, he's never played a full season anyway, right? So, if he sits, in the press box for one or two, not even because he's played poorly, but because he's being a team player, then great, right? You get, I think we're worried most about Broberg than anybody else, and play him against Arizona, right? Right? Give him, in front of the 10.
Broberg doesn't have to clear waivers either.
Actually, I expect Arizona's
attendance to be up. Bonus thing. It's because the Oilers are so tight against the cap. They can't send it down and bring it back up.
Yeah. So anyway, long story short is he'll definitely bring some stability to the D pair. The one thing we're not talking about, just like we talked about, the Flames and some surprises they may or may not have on with that team, right? Because it's a bunch of unknowns. A big thing that we don't know with the Oilers is how this team responds to Manson under a full year of coaching, right? We don't know. Did we really have a chance to see Woodcroft and Manson's system last year? I think we did by the tail end. But now they're going to have training camp. They're going to have time to and Woodcroft's now got some NHL experience under his belt, a little bit. He's watched some playoffs. He's got some new ideas, I'm sure. And what I love about Woodcroft, and I've got to think that Manson's the same way. Woodcroft is a true student of the craft. That guy, he doesn't, he talked about it. He said this, the work started the day after, right? And he starts going over video and he starts looking at things. He's an old video guy, right? He understands. And I'm going to guess that the same Woodcroft that's coaching this year is not going to be the same Woodcroft that's coaching 10 years from now. And he's just going to get better and better year after year. And so this defensive system that we have right now is finally going to have some opportunity to play under one guy for, a full season, hopefully. Barring any weird changes.
That one guy's going to be ready for the playoffs.
One guy.
Yeah, one guy.
Markstrom?
Yeah. So,
I'm
looking forward to seeing how these guys like Nurse and CC, how they play together again. Kulak, I'm really excited to see how he progressed over the season and how he progresses into this next year. And Bouchard, there's lots to be excited about there. Will we see him on the power play going into the new season, right?
That's your biggest surprise this year from your question you asked about 7.5 minutes ago.
What's that?
Who the biggest surprise will be?
Bouchard,
you never let any of us answer. Yeah, I think it's Bouchard.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, right? A better defensive system, and you got a guy that's maybe a little bit more stable in net with Jack Campbell, right?
Let's hope so.
This is Kirk's got this big smile on his face. Man, you're letting him go over there, and you're just.
I am.
We got some inside jokes. Don't worry about it.
What's on your mind there, Kirk? What's making you so happy right now?
I was just
obviously.
I was laughing at your chirp there just now, and Mike just. He just plowed right through. He didn't care. He just screw you, man.
He's probably for the best.
Yeah. It's obviously apparent that he misses Dirsa. Just,
he bare asked 3 questions in a 7-minute rant there. Which one do you want us to touch?
I'm wondering why you guys aren't writing this shit down.
Yeah. For a minute there, I thought you were talking to Merlin and not us.
Half the time I feel like I am.
Or Dirsa. Sit down, Dirsa. Man. Can you put that picture of his abstract
bear.
bear nostril up again. We can pretend we're all answering for.
Does anybody
for
even
Dirsa.
know what happened to Dirsa?
No, he didn't text me. Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing in the chat.
He
anyways.
probably hasn't even come back yet.
Let's have a segment. What
Everyone
happened to
check in on
Dirsa?
Dirsa.
I think he might have fallen off the
Where's
back
Dirsa?
deck.
Oh man.
Where's Waldo? Where's Dirsa?
Jeepers.
Everyone texted his wife, like "You're
Having a beer with Carmen Sandiego.
Oh, jeez. I feel like this is the kind of season it's going to be. Like
off the
This is the
rails.
talent you picked, buddy.
it is off the rails. Rudistic says WTF Dirsa #unsafe. Somebody got that one on the head.
Yep.
That's
All
on the
right, guys,
DL.
let's
DL.
let's wrap this up. Man,
Let's go
I
home.
don't even drink, and I'm
You don't even drink and you're hungover from this.
hungover already.
I'm low.
Done.
You know, Michael, I must say, here's the thing. I asked for a month off, and I am both, flabbergasted and flattered that you did not bother to have a podcast the entire time that I was gone, yet made sure that I had to be part of this one. So
Oh yeah. Make sure.
it makes me feel like no matter what, you can only do
Yeah.
this with me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. that's-
Did that thank you sound sincere?
yeah. No. Yeah. Thank you for being there for me.
Anytime.
Love
Keep
the
surpri-
love the shirt
shocked.
and love the hat. By the way, hey, put that hat up close to the thing there. Looks good. Looks good.
It's on me.
That costs like $150 to make, or what?
At least.
You know what? Kirk,
Wait
you
till
come
I
on
sign
over.
it.
You
Okay,
come on
I
over
wanna
to my
point out
house and
today-
don't worry about it.
I had like
That
anybody
you
know
banged on my door in Edmonton and made me let you in.
That's right. That's right.
You know how scary it is when a guy's 6'5", 270 pounds, banging on your door saying, "Please talk hockey with me, please. I came all this way. Everybody in Calgary hates me."
That's the whole success of the podcast. Is this my size? You're gonna be on my show, damn it. I'll pay you a visit. I want to point out a very creative tweet that I put on Twitter today, and nobody except for Eric Friesen, who I'm going to adopt, liked my tweet. Sammy Silber, that's the she writes for The Athletic, I think, or something to that effect. Put out a tweet from about Slafkovsky. Said it would be weird seeing himself on a trading card, and I said, "Hey, he can call me if he knows what it feels. He wants to know what it feels like."
Ooh.
Little flex there.
Hey, yeah, little flex. There you go. Not it, I mean,
The handsome devil right there. It's right in front of me every time I do a podcast, just giving me inspiration.
Gee.
Inspiration.
All right, guys, we're gonna wind it down.
This was my favorite podcast with Dirsa ever. I just want to put that out there. I really enjoyed this a lot.
He has not said anything.
He fell off his
anything
deck.
awful this time. Like, he's
Festivus
been
miracle.
good. He has been.
Kim.
He has been fantastic.
Kim finally put that finger to good use.
They-
He gone.
he's, we're gonna add him in when we go offline and see if he's still there. All right, we're gonna shut it down. We're gonna be back every Tuesday now. As we get closer to training camp, we'll definitely have more to talk about. Less Flames to talk about. Less everything else to talk about. More Oilers to talk about once we see some
Jack
of these
Jensen will
guys.
never tune in again.
That's right. That's right. Jack Jensen's gone.
I'm sorry, Jack. I'll talk to Michael after this. It was really
Appreciate
unacceptable.
everybody tuning in. Actually, pretty good showing tonight across all the different platforms. Appreciate you guys. Let's kind of shut it down with some last words. I'm going to give Morris or Ryan. You haven't had the last word in a while, have you?
Well, I can't imagine I'm ever getting it again.
No. You don't even. The whole
Hold on,
concept of last word.
Hold on, I've got
It's
another
like-
written statement here from Michael Hebert.
If you look up last word in the dictionary,
this is the last written
That's
statement
the
where he
picture on it.
declared that the Stanley Cup would not be won by the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh,
At
man.
some point in time, you're going to have to address that statement, Michael.
There we go.
That's
All right, Dash, anything to say before we let the...
No, I feel too much air. Let Kirk talk and say something smart, and then Lotsy can finish us off. I just love you guys. Good to get the band back together. This was fun. I miss you. I wish Dirsa was on so I could have chirped slightly more. And yeah, that's about it. Go Oilers, go.
All right, thanks, Dash. Mr. Morris, what do you got for us?
I'm getting fired up here just talking about hockey again. It's been way too long and can't wait for I can't wait for the rookie camp to fire up to see what's going to happen there. So yeah, it's just
Paddle
as
Down
you
podcast invite. I'm waiting. My mailbox is still empty.
I haven't got one either.
it's being sent out tomorrow. Okay, the check will be in the mail.
tumbleweeds.
Pretty much.
Awesome. Yeah, I'll say a couple things quickly, Ryan, before you get the last word tonight. Everybody knows how it works. Ryan's going to get the last word. I go on mute, put everybody else on mute because I think I'll have to with this crew. And
I'm going now. Fuck you guys.
Anyway, again, thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Check us out. Please do go to youtube.ca/heavy hockey. Give us a subscribe if you still want to listen to us after tonight. I think really, I mean, you start out slow and then it can only get better from there. Is the way I feel. So that's kind of what we're going to do about training camp is I think 10 days from now, maybe 9, because we're passing over the midnight mark here shortly. And then 19 days until Oilers' first preseason game. So looking forward to some Oilers hockey. We'll see what kind of jerseys they come out with, a whole bunch of other things. But, the subscriptions and all of that, very important for us. Check out heavyhockey.com. There's been some articles over the summer. www.heavyhockey.com. And, that's all I've got to say. Ryan, you've got the last word tonight. Take it away.
You better make it good. No pressure.
And say goodnight when you're done.
Thanks. Love you guys. So just to touch a little bit more on the Ryan Murray thing, because that's the most recent news of the day sort of idea. But I think Ryan Murray signing means that we've seen the last of Slater Cuckoo aside from training camp. I think he's better than Cuckoo right now, and he's $225,000 cheaper. So for a cap strap team like the Oilers, that matters a whole lot. So I think Cuckoo's days are done in Edmonton. Likely going to be buried in the AHL this year, which is unfortunate for him. That's too bad. But so I got a piece on Murray and the whole cap situation coming out in the next few days here. So look forward to that. And like everybody else, I'm sure I'm looking forward to the rookie camp, seeing what Dylan Holloway can do against all the other rookies out there. Looking forward to main camp, seeing what guys like Bourgeau and Holloway, all our young forwards look like. And obviously looking forward to some Oilers hockey again. With that, guys, thank you for listening to whatever this was tonight. We appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you next Tuesday. Night.